Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to a new knife review. I know I've been kind of away for a little while. I had some personal stuff that I was dealing with, but now that that's all done, I can put all my focus back into getting the channel back on track here. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Para 3. The one that I've got just happens to be the S110V, matches the Paramilitary 2 that I got, so just keeping it all the same, just what I like. So yeah, very interesting, kind of a lot of hype behind this knife, so we'll kind of break it down and see if it lives up and kind of what my final verdict is on this knife now that I've had it for a little while. I've gotten a chance to kind of test drive it a little bit, so let's go ahead and first take a look at the technical specs that I care about. Alright guys, so taking a look at just really the specs that I personally care about here. You're looking at an overall blade length of 3 inches. So those of you that are kind of in areas that have a little bit more restrictive blade length laws, this will kind of hit that mark for you if you kind of like the style of the PM2. It's a full flat ground blade. Like I said, there's a bunch of different kinds. The specific one that I have is the S110V with the blue scales on it. They have tons, so you'll just kind of seek out the one that you like best. The stock ones just come with S30V, just like the PM2 did. Listed as a clip point blade. It's a compression lock, so nothing new there. The pocket clip is 4-way positionable, tip up, tip down, left, right, however you like to carry this thing, you're good. Again, just like the PM2, you got this wide open lanyard tube, so no matter what you're running for lanyard, if that's what you like, that is also available. You got the Spidey hole here, or the thumb hole for opening. I like it. It's a little bit different than thumb studs, flippers. It's kind of fun to do the flick if that's kind of your thing. What else we got here? G10 handle scales. You got nested stainless steel liners, skeletonized, at least on that side there, you can see. Weight is 3.4 ounces. So a little bit lighter than the PM2, of course. It's a little bit smaller, but not by a whole lot. And yeah, that's about it. So getting quick tech specs out of the way, let's take a look at the blade. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is take a look at the blade. If you're familiar with the Paramilitary 2, this isn't really going to be anything new to you. It is basically the same exact blade shape. It's just a little bit stubbier, so you're just getting less length on it. That's really it. Kind of hold the two up for a quick size comparison there, but yeah, it's not shorter by a whole lot, but it's kind of like the the comparison that I made between the Polar and the Polar Large. One of these isn't the replacement for the other. They're just different uses or different situations. This is honestly more EDC friendly, and like I said, that 3-inch blade length is it's better for those people that live in those places that have more restrictive knife laws. It's listed right at 3 inches, so maybe it's kind of cutting it close there, but still you should be okay with that. That way you can carry the great design, and you don't have to worry about getting in trouble with law enforcement. So I'd say that's the main advantage there. It is a little bit easier to carry just because of that, but ultimately, as far as the shape and everything else is concerned, it is pretty much identical. So full flat ground, The blade stock's not super thin. It would be nice if it was a little bit thinner, to be honest. The blade thickness is 0.15 inches. So I would say that's just on the thicker side in general, especially for a smaller, more compact knife that's geared more towards everyday carry stuff, not heavy duty type, tactical use or whatever. I would have liked to see the blade thickness a little bit thinner just because, you're going to be carrying this around, honestly, probably more in an urban environment. But it's okay, a little bit more okay that it's full flat ground. But still, the blade thickness, I really wish it would have been thinner. Maybe 0.11 inches would have been really, honestly, closer to perfect. You get a decent tip there. It's not, super precise. It's not thick. It's pretty much in the middle. You got to be careful, though, depending on what blade steel you get. And I know better, but, the S110V can be prone to chipping. You can see that I kind of dicked up the tip of my blade there. I was just trying to pry dried up Play-Doh out of a Lego person's leg. So that's how that happened. Kids. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, not a crazy amount different than PM2, just less. And, like I said, sometimes, depending on where you live, less is more. Getting blade out of the way, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the handle. All right, guys, so handle of the knife. Again, I hate to make comparison type things like this because it is a completely separate knife, but at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people are going to want to see a comparison between the PM2 and the Para 3. As far as the handle goes, it's basically, like I said with the blade, it's almost the exact same overall design, but just shorter. So I don't usually give the, other lengths and measurements, but overall, or the closed length, let me see here, 4.27 inches. You get more than enough full grip if you choke up on it using the forward choil. If you're holding it, just like normal, your pinky kind of lands right on that last little hump there. At least for me, it's almost more comfortable to hang it behind right there. Kind of like I do with the ZT450. I can't really get all of my sausagey fingers there right, in there. So for me, it's more comfortable to just hang the three where they sit and have that pinky hang off and kind of come up into the handle right there. So like that, it's more comfortable, but I would be willing to wager that most of you guys are going to carry it like this. It's just more comfortable. You get a better grip on the knife. It feels more natural. You're not going to hold the knife like this and be like, yeah, that's perfect. It's fine. But when you're holding it choked up on the forward choil there, that's when you're going to feel like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to hold the knife. It just makes more sense. Like I said, it's just more comfortable, feels more natural. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot of complaints. Like I said, the nested steel liners are skeletonized on that side there. See if that camera will focus there. Not on the lock side, but that's kind of understandable. There's stuff going on in there. Lanyard tube is about the same. So if you're really into lanyards, you're still, in the clear. The compression lock is great. As always, like I said, I'm a fan of the compression lock. It's not like super extraordinary, but it's fun. It's really fun. And, just talking from a, everyday use safety perspective, really, it gets your fingers out of the way when you're closing the knife. So that's always a good thing. It's just an extra little safety step. And like I said before, it's supposed to be pretty strong. I've never tested it. Probably never will. There's not really a need for me to test it, unless there's play, which there's not. Other than that, the one thing that I will say, and this may also apply to the PM2, the pocket clip. So it is the very plain Jane Spyderco pocket clip that they throw on a lot of stuff. It's not bad. I will say, however, I did get one of the Lynch titanium clips. This is the right-handed titanium clip for the Para 3. Threw this bad boy on here pretty much right when I got it. These are awesome, by the way. I may do just a very quick, maybe a 2-minute video comparing it and kind of giving my thoughts on this. Definitely recommend getting that. You'll see a lot of people are getting those nowadays, either the Lynch clips or the MXG gear or whatever it is. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with the Spyderco clip. It's just that when I took off the Lynch clip and put on the stock clip for the review, it did feel really weird. And it's mainly just because, it's the same size as what you see with the full size PM2, and where you see kind of how that clip sits. The Lynch clip is honestly a more proportionate size for a pocket clip for this blade. This goes up damn near 2/3 of the entire knife, and when you're holding it, right now it feels fine to me just because I've had it on for a day or two again as I was getting used to it. But it felt really weird to me at first, and you might not really think much of it just looking at it, but the pocket clip is long for this size of knife. I think they should just be making deep carry clips for PM2s, Para 3s, a lot of these models anyways. But like I said, nothing necessarily wrong. It's just for this knife in particular, so far in my experience, it does seem a little weird. So in that regard, I would definitely recommend buying an aftermarket clip, even if it is, $20 or $30. Trust me, it is worth your time. So that's really all I got to say about the handle. Really the main part that just makes me feel weird, it's not bad, is the pocket clip. So now that we got that big chunk out of the way, we're going to talk about action and fit and finish. And let's go ahead and just get right into that. All right, action and fit and finish. Pretty good. So this is what I'll have to say about the action of this knife. When I had gotten my PM2, it wasn't quite as good as it is now. Right now it's fall shut. So when you see all the videos, the nice PM2s that are fall shut, they really do get like that. And I'm not just talking about my experience with this one particular knife. I know several people who have PM2s and they're all pretty much the same. So what they're doing with these knives and a lot of the compression lock knives, they're doing it the right way. Mine is not quite as good as my PM2, but it's getting there. And just like my PM2, there was a break-in period, and I expect there to be a break-in period with this as well. It's on phosphor bronze washers, so naturally there's always going to be that break-in period, and they usually end up getting pretty smooth. So it is getting there. It's on the right track. Even if it's not fully there yet, it is still very smooth. So you can see it just takes a little bit of encouragement to get it to slide back into the handle there, but it gets there pretty easily. So I am happy with it in that regard yet. I've kind of been juggling through a few different knives lately, so this hasn't had my full undivided attention as far as breaking it in, but like I said, it's on the right track. No concerns from me at this point with this knife. So just all of the same that I'm used to with the paramilitary kind of trend. Going over fit and finish, blade is centered. I'm very happy about that. As a lot of you guys who are already subscribed to me know, that is one of my pet peeves, is blade play and centering. Especially on a higher end blade, I feel like it should just be centered and there shouldn't be any play. That's not too much to ask for a knife that you're spending, I would say more than 100, 150 bucks. I'd say that's pretty fair. Checks the boxes for me there, so that's good. Like I said, no blade play. Side to side, up and down, lockup is super solid. There's not a whole lot else to be said. It's, in my experience so far, it is breaking in just like my Paramilitary 2 did. And I can't ask for anything more than that. It's still super smooth. It shows signs that it's breaking in. I'm not concerned about it. Centered. Everything's looking good. One thing that I didn't really check, that's one point of concern that I had with the Paramilitary 2, and I just now totally dawned on me. The die is kind of getting away from me there on those bottom holes. Nowhere else though. So maybe a little bit right there. But maybe a tiny bit on those pocket clip screws. Maybe. But yeah, that's about it. It is better on this model, so maybe it's just the dye, the blue kind of dye that they use is a little bit easier to scratch off or wear out. I've kind of dinged this guy up a little bit too, but that is all good with me. One thing that I did think was kind of weird was screw for stop pin and no screw for the stop pin there. I haven't tried to take this apart yet, but did think that was a little interesting. Maybe I will take this down and see how it comes apart. Maybe another whole other kind of video, but we'll see. Action, fit, and finish is great. Like I said, it follows the trend of the PM2, so there's that. What we're going to do now is kind of go over my final thoughts, and we'll shut her down and call it good. So let's go ahead and take a look at my final assessment of the Para 3. So here are my final thoughts and my conclusion of what I think about the Para 3. I think it's great. Like I said, it's not a replacement for the PM2. It is just for different situations, I would say. It is more pocketable, a little bit easier to carry, and is a little bit closer to perfect than me personally that I would prefer out of a knife. Lately, I've been kind of going for knives that are a little bit on the smaller side for EDC purposes, and this fits the bill a little bit more than the PM2, although I still have a lot of love for this guy. Again, my main concern with the knife is the pocket clip. Again, I would just recommend you go out and buy a third-party clip, but that's not a big deal. If you like the original one, good for you. It just saves you a little bit of money. So there it is. I think it's great. It's easier to carry. It's more pocket friendly, better for just general EDC. And that is the Para 3. If you guys like it, let me know what you think in the comments. Does it live up to a lot of the hype that you've been hearing if you already have one? If you have any questions or concerns about the knife, just drop a line for me and we'll let you guys know what we think. And for now, we'll call it good here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like the video, and to just stay up to date on all my content on the channel coming up. Also, hit the link down below for my Instagram, just for a cool everyday pics and knives and just some behind the scenes shots. And with that, we'll call it good for the night, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.